So I thought doing a poem would be a cool short video. I wrote this about 10, 20, some point in what we call the fictitious past, and it never made it into any of the books. So I thought, well, let's do a short video on it. It is really about the no self issue, and it's called The Brain King. And the cool thing about poetry, of course, is that, well, I don't know, of course, you know, when I would bring this up in class and say, let's do some poetry, people get frustrated because they start with the thinking mind. Can I think my way into a decent poem? And that's just not the way it works. If you've ever practiced noticing the gap between thinking, that's a much better start, because it's just like when you're on the ocean and you dig a little hole in the sand, and then the ocean quickly fills it. And if you notice that gap between thoughts, sometimes, if you're lucky, it gets quickly filled with something from that infinite source. And that's how poetry works. It's really a mystery, but we know that you can't think your way into a decent poem. So here's something that kind of filled the gap between my thinking at some point. And again, it's called The Brain King. The inhabitants of a most prosperous land found the task of decision-making desperately at hand. Simple coordination seemed implausible. With so many parts, a single thing was impossible. Then, by trial and error, a fictitious king appeared from out of nowhere. A ruler with the hearts of the court moved forth with ease to both walk and purport. And in the joy of harmonic rule, the stories of the king grew and grew. So the myth itself began to question and worry. What will happen in the end? Forgetting all along, the king was nothing but a useful story. So hope you enjoyed that. And, if you got some poetry that filled the gaps between your thinking, post it. I'd really enjoy seeing what filled the gaps.